Setting the stage, the early 20th century was a time of great spiritual hunger in America. The year 1905 saw a wave of religious revivals sweep across the nation. From bustling cities to rural communities, people were seeking a deeper connection with God. The newspapers were filled with stories of miraculous healings and conversions. This spiritual outpouring, known as the American Revival of 1905, set the stage for an even more extraordinary event. In a small, unassuming building on Azusa Street in Los Angeles, California, a revival would ignite that would forever change the landscape of Christianity. This revival, known as the Azusa Street Revival, would become the birthplace of Pentecostalism, a vibrant and rapidly growing branch of Christianity that emphasizes the power of the Holy Spirit. The American Revival of 1905 prepared the soil for the seeds of Pentecostalism to be sown. It was a time of great anticipation and expectation, as Christians across the country prayed for a fresh outpouring of the Holy Spirit. Little did they know that their prayers were about to be answered in a way they could never have imagined. As the American Revival of 1905 was reaching its peak, a young preacher named Joseph Smale arrived in Los Angeles. Smale had been deeply impacted by the Welsh Revival of 1904 to 1905, a powerful spiritual awakening that had swept through Wales. He had witnessed firsthand the transformative power of the Holy Spirit and was eager to see a similar move of God in America. Smale had been personally touched by the Welsh Revival's emphasis on spiritual gifts such as speaking in tongues, divine healing, and prophecy. He believed that these gifts were not merely for the early church, but were available to believers today. Upon arriving in Los Angeles, Smale was invited to preach at the First Baptist Church, a small congregation led by a man named Frank Bartleman. Smale's arrival would prove to be a pivotal moment in the lead-up to the Azusa Street Revival. Joseph Smale's sermons at the First Baptist Church were unlike anything the congregation had ever heard. With fiery passion and conviction, he preached about the baptism of the Holy Spirit and the restoration of spiritual gifts. He shared stories from the Welsh Revival, captivating his listeners with accounts of miraculous healings, speaking in tongues, and dramatic conversions. His sermons ignited a hunger for more of God in the hearts of the people. Many began to meet for prayer, seeking a deeper experience of the Holy Spirit. They yearned for the power and presence of God that Smale so vividly described. The atmosphere in Los Angeles was electric with spiritual anticipation. Something extraordinary was about to happen. A voice in the wilderness, Frank Bartleman's call for spiritual awakening. Frank Bartleman, the pastor of the First Baptist Church, played a crucial role in fanning the flames of revival. A former newspaper evangelist, Bartleman had a deep burden for spiritual awakening. He had been praying for years for a genuine move of God, and saw Smale's arrival as an answer to his prayers. Bartleman began to write and distribute tracts about the need for revival, urging Christians to seek a deeper experience of the Holy Spirit. He believed that God was about to pour out his Spirit in unprecedented ways. Bartleman's writings resonated with many in the city, further preparing the ground for the outpouring that was to come. He became a key figure in documenting and spreading the news of the Azusa Street Revival, his writings serving as a vital chronicle of those remarkable events. The Holy Spirit descends. William Seymour and the Bonnie Bray Street meetings. Meanwhile, a humble African-American preacher named William J. Seymour arrived in Los Angeles, also seeking a deeper experience of the Holy Spirit. Seymour had been exposed to the Pentecostal message through the teachings of Charles Parham, a prominent Pentecostal preacher. Seymour began attending a prayer meeting on Bonnie Bray Street, led by a woman named Lucy Farrow, who had been deeply impacted by Smale's preaching. During one of these meetings on April 9, 1906, the Holy Spirit fell in a powerful way. Several people, including Seymour himself, began to speak in tongues, just as the apostles had done on the day of Pentecost. The news of this outpouring spread like wildfire, drawing crowds to the Bonnie Bray Street house. The revival had begun.